In order to create banger flyers, you need banger images. Here's how to create those with AI and then put it all together using Photoshop, a great layout system, and your own creativity. So the first thing you want to do is find some inspiration, and I found mine on Pinterest by typing in futuristic translucent fashion. And I like some of this style, so once you have an image you like, you just copy it and bring it into Firefly. So we're going to go to firefly.adobe.com, just paste that in, and this is actually the finished image that I generated. And I use the following prompt. So let's just load that. And I use this prompt right here. Portrait, fashion shot, person wearing muted yet colorful, fashionable, transparent, futuristic, edgy jacket, contrasting background, fog and smoke rising from the bottom. And I use the Flux 1.1 Ultra Raw model because that just generates awesome images, as you can see. So once you have something you like, you just click on it. It's going to click on it and then you download it, save it on your computer. Then we're going to open it up in Photoshop. First thing we're going to do is import that picture. And this was the original photo. So let's just drag that into Photoshop. And I want this to be a 4:5 image, which is the ratio for an Instagram portrait. So I'm going to go to my crop tool. I'm going to change it to 4:5. Just make sure you have 4:5 selected. And I just want to add some headroom above my subject, maybe about that much. And then I'm going to click Generative Expand from the contextual taskbar. If you don't see this, just go to Window and down the contextual taskbar and select that. But mine is already selected. So it's going to ask me, what do I want to generate? Leave it blank and click Generate. All right. So once you have something you like, I'm just going to merge these two layers, Control or Command E, and then use the taskbar to remove background. I'm going to duplicate that layer, Control or Command J, and we're going to name this woman, and we're going to name this one background. And now I'm just going to show you all the layers that I added and how I kind of work this flyer out. So starting from the background, I have my color layer. Let's just hide some of these. Have my color layer. Then I have a background like texture, which was the original background from the woman. So I actually did use that. Change the blending mode to linear light and change the fill to 62%. So this is it at 100%, which is a little bit too dark. Here's 60%. Then I added the word where up here with the linear dodge blend mode, 25% fill. That's it, regular. Here it is. So the font I use is called Drip Drop, and I got that from Envato Elements. So I use Where up there, and the same font has the word love. This is just kind of a fictional brand called Where Love. And those are set, the love is set to overlay blend mode. And then I have a gradient fill right here. And what I did is a white to black radial gradient. I just play around the size till I get it somewhere I like. Now, and just so you can see this in context, this is our subject layer. And this is how she looks contrasted to that background. So really just helps her to stand out. Then I just duplicated my this vignette layer right here. I duplicated it. Now, just by the way, this is my vignette layer. And I duplicated it and just moved it somewhere else. So this one is a little bit different placed. This one's right behind her head. This one is a little bit higher up. And then after that, I created a grid just so I can, set my text where I want it to be and have everything looking really good. So new guide layout. And I used a 5:7, 100 pixel margins, around the edges, and a 20 pixel gutter between each column and row. So 5, 2, 3, 4, 5:7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right. 5:7 usually work well for a lot of stuff for me. And I'm going to just show you how that looks anyway. So this is my grid. Then I have my title text right behind her head to the left. And then I have this right here. So we're going to come back to that. But as far as the text layers, I just added those, just, line them up to the edges of the grid in different modules where I wanted them to be, have the website and some placeholder text there at the bottom that you can fill in with whatever you want. And then for the foreground text, I used another graffiti font called Maelstrom, and then I just added a motion blur to each of these layers and reduced their opacity to about 75% and just kind of reposition them, use different text, just to kind of add some dimension, some depth of field to the composition. Then to finish it off, I use a gradient map, which is that dark purple to like that neon teal right there. For very low fill, just 10% fill. It just adds a very subtle effect to glue everything together. And yeah, so that's how you create a modern style flyer.